My definition of house music is what comes from the soul.
Not everyone understands house music.
Bring the noise!
This is for all the DJs that unite. To all the underground people in the house. This is for the DJ world. This is for all the house kids.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
Yes, Traxsource family, what's good? I am your host, Mr. V, and I want to welcome you to the second installment of this very special edition of Traxsource Live, where we're celebrating 20 years of Traxsource in a massive way, and you're about to enjoy the second of a two-part show called Traxsource Rewind, 20 iconic tracks from 20 years, featuring stories and conversations from the artists and labels who made them. Now, if you haven't checked out part one, it's archived on our Traxsource Live SoundCloud page right now. By the way, if you want to hear the top tracks from all 20 years in one place, head over to Traxsource.com right now. That's where you'll find the full Traxsource Rewind featuring the best of 20-year bundles right down the main page. So let's dive into it, man. We got a lot to do. This is part two, and we're going to roll into 2014 with a track that took the house music scene by storm. Oliver Dollar and Jimmy Jules with Pushing On Defected. This was the #1 track of the year on Traxsource, and it dropped right in the middle of the EDM boom. Despite not fitting into the EDM mold, this track cut through the noise and became a hit, signaling a shift back to real house music. So let's get into it. Check it out. Come on. We can't talk about house music without mentioning Simon Dunmore. He's the former CEO and founder of Defective Records and has been a massive supporter of Traxsource from day one. We caught up with him recently and asked him to reflect on the success of Pushing On. Yo, Simon, what's good? So quick question. In 2014, Oliver Dollar and Jimmy Jules' Pushing On was released during a time when the EDM wave was dominating the charts. It seemed like this record showed the world that real house music was still a force to be reckoned with. What is your view on the impact of Pushing On?
Hi V, thanks for inviting us onto the show. Yes, 2014 was definitely a challenging time. I mean, EDM made it challenging because it pretty much dominated the dance floors. And also a lot of the producers that traditionally made house music literally switched and started to make EDM because obviously that's where the action was at and that's where the money was at. So finding great music just became harder just because of that. So we felt like we had to dig in and actually double down in order to survive and to get through that time. And it was a pivotal time actually for DJs who traditionally supported our music and for those on the dance floor that actually loved their beats to be a little bit more soulful, a bit more funky, a bit more spiritual. And it's at times like these when you need just that little bit of luck that you pray for something that's going to come along and help you pull through. And in many ways, the lyrics of Pushing On kind of reflected that situation we found ourselves in. To my stone cold grave, I'll keep pushing on. To my stone cold grave, I'll be riding high. And I guess it was a call to arms in many ways. It was that one record that everybody decided that they were going to get behind, everybody decided that they were going to support. And this was that one record that seemed to change everything and just realign everything for us. So, Oliver Dollar, Jimmy Jules sampled a great record, the Quantic Soul Orchestra and Alice Russell, originally out on True Thoughts Records. And it was a record that eventually got to Traxsource #1, and it was a #1 that we could shout about. And having a #1 record and getting a record played on the radio and eventually getting a record into the charts in the UK was much needed at that time. So we were super grateful for that. And as the saying goes from everyone that follows what Traxsource is all about, not everybody understands house music. And Traxsource has been the discerning DJ's download store of choice since its beginning 20 years ago. They've consistently flown the flag for quality house music since day one. And they remain pivotal to the scene right up until this very moment. So congratulations on 20 years of Traxsource, and thank you for your contribution to house music culture.
Thank you, Simon, so much for that. The #1 track of 2014, Oliver Dollar and Jimmy Jules with Pushing On Defected, right here on Traxsource Live.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
Yes, next up, we're moving on to 2015 with a track that lit up dance floors all over the world and put Low Stepper firmly on the map. This bumpy remix of Hard Drive's classics Deep Inside on the legendary Strictly Rhythm label hit #8 on Traxsource's Best of 2015 and truly marked a turning point in Low Stepper's career. Low Stepper has since gone on to blow up all over the world. At the time, this UK-based DJ producer and his label, MoBlack, was bubbling up. But we believe it was this hot remix that set things off for him in a big way. Let's get into it. Taking on a classic like Deep Inside is no easy feat, but Low Stepper delivered a fresh take that resonated with both old school heads and new fans alike. We caught up with Low Stepper recently to provide us a little background into his mindset while creating this remix. Here's what Low Stepper had to say. Yo, Low, what up? What was it like to take on the challenge of like remixing a legendary track like Deep Inside? And how did you approach putting your own spin on this classic by Hard Drive?
Yes, Mr. V, how you doing? Yeah, so originally I just did this off my own back. I was sat in the studio and it's a track I've always loved. I mean, Everyone loves this record. It's been one of my favourite tracks for a long time. Anyone into house and garage. And I just thought, I want to do an edit of this. And I basically did it with no parts. I just, chopped up bits from the original, and it just came together. I mean, it's a bit of a blur really going back that far. I don't really remember being in the studio other than I know I just got my subwoofer, and I remember some of the bass notes making my trousers shake, and I was like, wow, this is fun. And I finished it, and I remember getting it on SoundCloud, and the response was just crazy. There were hundreds and hundreds of comments, and I was like, wow, this is a bit of a buzz. And then it ended up coming out officially on Strictly Rhythm, which was so special for me. That really was a moment for me, and like you say, I think it did a lot for me, and all my heroes playing it, like Louis and Kenny, it just meant the world to me. And the rest is history. I can still play it today. I know other people do, and often get people say, oh mate, I love your Deep Inside remix, and I'm still playing it. And yeah, it's definitely a special one, and I'm honoured to be on your show with this record. So big love to you, Traxsource, big love Mr. V, and all of the crew. Thank you.
Nice, my brother. Thank you so much. And of course, Hard Drive, Deep Inside, Low Stepper remix on Strictly Rhythm, the number 8 best of 2015 track, right here on Traxsource Live. 20 iconic tracks from 20 years. Take a hit now. Yeah, moving right along. This brings us to 2016 with a track that really embodies that deep underground house vibe. In the background, you're listening to That's House Music by Amsterdam's Damn Swindle, which landed at number 4 on Traxsource's Best of 2016 list on their very own Heist Recordings. The Dutch duo is Lars Dales and Martin Smeets. These guys have been making serious beats since launching their label Heist back in 2012. Their label is known for consistently putting out quality underground house and sounds, and is home to rising stars like Crackazat, Fook, Marina Trench, and so much more. This is house music, right here on Traxsource Live, 20 iconic tracks from 20 years. We caught up with the Damn Swindle guys and asked them to tell us how they managed to keep Heist so on point. And this is what they said. Check it.
What we really try to do with the A&R that we do and the way we approach the releases is that we really talk to the artist about the music that they want to make and how they want to evolve their own sound. So of course they want to look back at what they've made, and they want to make sure that they do something that their fans know. But at the same time, it's always about growth. So what's your next step? What's the next thing going to sound like? So we'd like to challenge ourselves, but also the artist to do something new, to do something exciting. And I really hope that's something that people feel when they listen to the music of Heist.
Yeah, and the same goes for Damn Swindle tracks. Like, we always look forward and not too much backward. Like, we really like what we've done and our body of work. We're very proud of it. But yeah, we don't want to remake what we've already done and build on past successes, but more like look forward and see what's happening in the scene. Like, we have our ear on the ground here in Amsterdam, and we're very close to the fire. And yeah, we always use that as inspiration to make our tracks sound new and fresh. And even though we take a lot of inspiration from the past, I think we just try to look forward.
So, Traxsource, congratulations on being 20 years in the game. Well done. You have a lovely platform, and we want to thank you for the support you've had for our label and for the Damn Swindle songs in the past years. And keep it up.
The number 4 track of 2016. This is Damn Swindle, house music on Heist Recordings, right here on Traxsource Live.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
Now let's keep this moving. We're taking it back to 2017 with a track from a true legend in the game. That is the prolific Dave Lee, who many of you might know as Joey Negro, Akabu, the Sunburst Band, and around, 20 other aliases. The track in the background is Must Be the Music, the original disco mix, which hit number 7 on Traxsource's Best of 2017 and was released on his own label, Z Records. Dave Lee and his label Z Records have been a key figure in the UK house and disco scenes for decades. He's one of the first producers to bring disco samples into the forefront way back in the late 80s and has been dropping underground as well as crossover hits ever since. Must Be the Music showcases his undeniable influence on the entire soulful and disco-infused side of house music. Let's get into it. I love this jam right here, and I know you will too. So let's check it out. Come on.
Once you catch the beat, feel your feet, start moving. It's inside your head, in your soul. Nothing can stop it. Feeling your mind and your body. What a sensation. Well, there's no place I would rather be on this occasion.
I'm loving the disco vibes of the jam right here. Dave Lee's a true master of the soul and disco genre. We caught up with him this week, and this is what he had to say. Check it. Yo, Dave, truly an honor. We've heard you capturing the classic disco sound for the last 30 years. How is it that you make it sound so easy? And do you find it easier to produce now, this type of sound, than it was 20 years ago?
Hey, Traxsource crew. Hello, Mr. V. Now, Must Be the Music first came out in 1999 on Subliminal Records. It was a big record for me at the time. Fast forward 15 years, and it wasn't really what I played at that point. I was playing a lot of original disco music, and I thought it'd be nice to have a version of Must Be the Music that kind of fitted in with what I'm playing now. This was one time where the remix or the remake was better than the original. There was something a little bit magical about it, and I really enjoyed playing it. And as far as making music generally, I guess I feel I am better at it now than I was when I started. I'm a learner. I learn lessons. I realise mistakes I've made along the way, and I've learnt from the other people I've worked with, be it Michaela or Kaidi or Tony and Mike Pato, lots of great musicians I've worked with. And I guess also what's really helped me, especially for the original disco material, is getting the multi-tracks for some of these amazing records, be it Gladys Knight, Narada Michael Walden, Patti LaBelle, and hearing how they made those records, hearing those records dissected into the original parts has helped me when I'm making music that's kind of similar in lots of ways. Just hearing how the rhythms worked and how there's stuff happening which you can kind of feel but you can't necessarily hear. That's been an education. So for me it's all about learning and making sure that what you're doing excites you. You know, if you're not excited about it, then other people aren't going to be excited about it. You know, if you really love it, maybe they might like it. Most things I make, I go at least through a small period, I think, of loving it, and then I start getting a bit fed up with it. But you've got to have that feeling where you think this is really worth me finishing it off. Anyway, congratulations, Traxsource, on 20 years. You know, without you, this industry would be a much worse place. So respect. And thank you very much for the support over the years.
And there it is. Big thanks to our brother Dave Lee. Keep on doing that disco thing, my brother, please. This is Must Be the Music on Z Records. All right, let's jump forward to the year 2018 with a track that had everybody talking and moving. Engeki by Armonica and Toshi, and it's remixed by the dynamic duo and him and released on MoBlack Records. This soulful slice of Afro House landed at number 2 in the Traxsource year-end chart. MoBlack Records, founded by Mimo Falcone, has grown into one of the most influential Afro House labels out there right now. What's even cooler is that Traxsource recognized the label's potential from day one, supporting it all the way back to its very first releases. For a short period, Mimo also joined the Traxsource A&R team where he helped shape the direction of the genre. Fast forward to 2024 and Mimo is an in-demand A-list international DJ, and thankfully, he still credits Traxsource as a key part of the label's success. This track right here is a true testament to how far both the label and Afro House have come. I was able to lock down our old friend Mimo Falcone from his busy schedule recently, and here's what he had to say about the future of the Afro House genre. Mimo, thank you so much for taking this time. Listening back to this track, you can really sense the roots of the Afro House movement. How do you feel about the current direction and the popularity of Afro House?
Afro House is the most trending genre right now. The reason why we have many tracks submitted as Afro House, but in reality they are not. More is popular and more directions we will see. We should not be surprised because it's a consequence of its popularity. Our role now it's more important than in the past. Finally, Afro House became mainstream. This is what we wanted, but we should be able to keep the sound underground and or to keep offering quality music. Personally, I keep selecting and releasing underground tracks with the crossover characteristics that has potential to reach the mainstream. So my approach has been always the same since 11 years when I started. Whatever will be the direction. And happy birthday, Traxsource. Please don't change. Keep it underground. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mimo. I truly appreciate it. You're listening to Ngeki, the Anhem remix on MoBlack Records by Harmonica and Toshi.
Listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
Yeah, I know you can feel the bounce, okay? All right, so let's keep it rolling with a track that landed at number 5 on 2019's year-end chart. This slice of deep house called Moments by Cezanne is on the legendary Large Music label from Chicago. Cezanne, they've been consistently named one of the top deep house artists on Traxsource for years. Hailing from London, Cezanne is the duo of Matt Bandy and Leigh Darlow, who also run their very successful No Fuss label, along with Earthworks Studios, where they offer top-notch production, engineering, mixing, and mastering services to some of the biggest names in dance music. Now let's talk about Large Music for a moment. This Chicago house label has been in the game since 1993, and it's founded by Jeff Craven with love, always delivering top-quality releases. With classic hits like Roy Davis Jr.'s Gabrielle featuring Pevin Everett, and artists like Kerry Chandler, Dennis Ferrer, to the latest and greatest on the scene. Jeff and Large Music, they've been keeping the underground sound alive for over 30 years now. It's incredible to see how both Cezanne and Large Music continue to shape the house music landscape. This is Moments by Cezanne on Large Music. Yeah, we were fortunate to speak with Jeff Craven, and we asked him how he manages to keep his label so incredibly consistent with high quality output. And here's what he had to say.
Hey, V, so great to hear from you, my friend. Hey, that's a great question. Before I get to an answer, let me just say up front, happy 20th year anniversary to Traxsource. So grateful for the store, so grateful for the staff. You guys keep it going. Looking forward to another 20 more from you guys. Back to the question, you know, that's something that people have asked me before. I think what sets Large Music apart is that there is only one person who has done A&R for the label in its entire 31-year history, and that person is me. Now, I have always considered myself an underground deep house DJ first and foremost, and a label owner second. And so every single track that has ever been on Large Music is a track that I personally have resonated with, have selected, and something that I would always play in a club myself. I'll even take it a step further. There's been many projects over the years where an artist and myself have just started with a concept and flushed something out, and that artist has created a track sort of out of scratch. And that's one of the best ways that I like to work, is to encourage artists to stretch themselves and follow along in what people say is the large vibe, is the large sound. I think it always goes back to our analog roots with great producers that started the label like Kerry Chandler, DJ Rasoul, Mateo and Matos, and we're just going to keep going. I'm going to keep selecting great deep house records as long as God allows me to. And I am still just as excited about deep house as I was back on the first record I signed.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We love hearing the legacy of Large Music, man, because it's so special. You're now listening to Moments by Cezanne on Large Music, Chicago. Yes, all right, here we go. 20 iconic tracks from the last 20 years. And now let's move on to 2020 with a track that absolutely dominated. This is Heaven by The Vision, featuring Andrea Triana with a killer edit by none other than New York City's own Danny Krivit. This one topped the Traxsource charts, claiming the #1 spot of the year. And it's easy to see why. The Vision is made up of Ben Westbeach and Khan. They both delivered a soulful masterpiece, and when you add Danny Krivit's magic touch, I mean, come on. You got a track that just hits. For those who don't know, Danny Krivit is a New York City house music legend, 1/3 of the New York institution, Body and Soul, and the founder of 718 Sessions, and he's considered the king of edits. His work on this track alone solidifies that title.
Just give me something, babe. Feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. When the streets are burned and the world keeps turning, there's nothing that I can hold on to. Just give me something, babe. Feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. When the streets are burned and the world keeps turning, there's nothing that I can hold on to.
Yo, so we managed to pin Danny down. I know he's been crazy and traveling. We had to ask him about his magic touch. And here's what Danny Krivit had to say about it. Hey, Mr. K, known as the king of edits, how do you go about choosing which records to edit? And how do you approach the process? Like, how did this one come about?
Hey, what's up, V? Generally, I choose the music for my edits from music I'm DJing with, records that I particularly like and maybe want to extend something I like in it or subtract something I'm not feeling or just rearrange a little, kind of build it a little more. And also, people bring me a lot of music, their productions, sometimes even friends, and often I kind of turn it down. It's not something I actually pick to begin with, and maybe I'm not feeling I can bring something to it, so I turn it down. But occasionally, people brought me some things that were special and I did an edit with. Heaven was one of those records where Simon Dunmore and Luke Solomon from Defected brought me Heaven. They were quite excited about it, and rightfully so. I was excited once I heard it too. And I guess they wanted to, besides remixes, wanted a version that was enhancing what was already there and still maintaining that flavor. I spent a lot of time on it. It was a long process for that one. Sometimes it can be, but they were extremely patient, and I thought in the end it really paid off. I was really happy with it. It really did well. I think they were really happy with it, and I'm really honored that Traxsource picked it for this tribute, and just wanted to say happy 20th anniversary, Brian and Traxsource, and hope you have many, many more. Danny Krivit, out.
Nice, my brother. Thank you so much. The 2020 #1 track of the year, Heaven by The Vision, featuring Andrea Triana, edited by Danny Krivit.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
Vaya. All right, now, Wepa. Now we're stepping into 2021 with a track that had everyone moving. This is El Ritmo by Louis Vega and Harry Romero. This track landed at #3 for the year on Traxsource, and it's a certified dance floor monster. Harry Romero, the New Jersey house legend, teamed up with the man himself, the legend Louis Vega, for this timely percussive journey, bringing that signature deep primetime raw underground vibe that Harry's known for since back in the day when he was part of the Subliminal crew. This jam came out on Harry's own Bombosa Records, which he launched around the year 2000, and he's been consistently dropping straight heat. El Ritmo is no exceptions whatsoever. Another heater. So let's get into it. Check it out. Come on. This jam right here runs deep, so you know I had to ask Harry exactly what is it about New Jersey that makes him tick. So I caught up with him, and this is what he had to say. Yo, Harry D. Melo, what up, what up? So listen, what were the influences of your upbringing in New Jersey that contributed to you being a DJ, you know, you being a producer, especially the one that you are today?
Yo, what's up, V? So yeah, what an honor to have the track I produced with Louis Vega. What an honor to have it included in the 20 iconic tracks. Growing up as a Jersey kid, the influences were always like early hip hop, like, you know, Cool DJ Red Alert, Paco on BLS. Actually, no, that was KTU. Paco was on KTU. And just listening to all kinds of music growing up here. We had disco, we had reggae, we had freestyle, we had hip hop, funk, all kinds of stuff. So the influences were great over here. But I think for me, the biggest influences for me is when I started going out in 91 or 92 into Manhattan, I'd take the car ride, the 40-minute car ride in from where I live in Central Jersey into Manhattan. And one of the best experiences was going to Sound Factory Bar on Wednesdays and seeing Louis Vega just dominate that room and just playing a lot of unreleased music that later would become classics. The first one that comes to mind is a Nuyorican Soul, the Nervous track. I heard it there for the first time and it just blew my mind. And just watching him work the decks was just amazing. You know, I was a little kid absorbing everything and seeing all the people there, like seeing Todd Terry and Kenny Dope hanging out and all the local producers like Benji, and you see Morales in there, Frankie Knuckles. Everybody was there. Wednesday nights was an industry night. And that was such a huge influence on me in my career, not only as a DJ, but also as a music maker. And I have to say that without that place and without experiencing those Wednesday nights, I honestly would not be where I am today. But again, thank you, Traxsource. You guys have been nothing but supportive of my career through the years, and I thank you guys very much. And again, what an honor. Vega and Romero, El Ritmo, and Bambosa. And thanks, Victor. Hope everybody's good.
Nice, man. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Harry, man. Truly appreciate it. And you're listening to the number 3 track of 2021. It's called El Ritmo on Bambosa Records, and it's Vega and Romero right here on Traxsource Live. Yes, all right, here we go. We're grooving into 2022 with a track that brings instant good vibes. I'm talking about Mike Dunn's It's a Groove Thing on Big Love Records. This one came in at number 7 on a Traxsource Best of 2022 year-end chart. And it's got that irresistible Chicago house flavor that Mike Dunn has been bringing since the early days of house. Mike's productions and mixes are pure and raw. They always keep that true Chicago house style. But in addition to his studio chops, he's been a staple songwriter and a vocalist in house music for years, dropping classics like God Made Me Funky and more recently, Elevator Man. And right here on Groove Thing, he's shown once again why he's still at the top of his game. Shout out to Seamus Haji, the mastermind behind Big Love Records, for pushing quality house music year after year. This is It's a Groove Thing by Mike Dunn on Big Love Records.
Now I understand you could have been anywhere in the world, getting your groove on. But tonight, you're here with us. And that's what's up.
It's a groove thing. So go and do your thing. It's a groove thing. Get up and do your thing. You know it's a groove thing. Let the record bang. It's a groove thing. Go and move your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we understand and deeply appreciate that you could have been anywhere in the world tonight.
This jam just screams vibes, man. Good vibes. We were grateful to have a moment to catch up with Mike Dunn since he travels constantly. And we asked him for a little insight into his Chicago roots. And here's what he had to say.
Well, I've always been a strong believer of you gotta be popping at home before you can be popping anywhere else. Which means you have to have a home fan base before you can go abroad. You know what I'm saying? Home is where the heart is. Home is where everything starts. So for me to keep relevant, I had to be somebody at home before I could be somebody abroad, you know. And how do I stay true to my roots, my Chicago raw style? At the earlier stages of me producing with my friends Hugo H and Tyree, kind of made our own lane by doing tracks and stuff different. So I've always kept that in my arsenal when I produce tracks. I produce them with the raw Chicago, in Big Ma bedroom, in Hugo's mom living room, and, you know, in Pinocchio's basement, wherever we could get it in at. So I've always kept that rawness, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never want to lose that rawness of how I produce. You know, I have to put it in there somewhere. It finds its way in its tracks, no matter what. It's like riding a bike for me. So, you know, that's how I keep it the way that I do. I've always told the young guys, don't ask me why I stayed in the game so long. Ask me how I stayed in the game so long. That's what Traxsource is doing. So big ups to Traxsource. Happy 20-year anniversary. And thank you guys from the bottom to the top for keeping house music alive, strong, and going. Love y'all. UD.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for that. You're listening to the number 7 track of 2022. It's a groove thing on Big Love Records by the one and only Mike Dunn.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.
And here we are. We're almost wrapping it up, man. Our journey through 20 years of iconic tracks with a 2023 banger. Soul Searchers Feelin' Love, remixed by DJ Fudge on Sulfuric Deep. This one hit number 14 on Traxsource for the year, and it's got that signature sulfuric vibe that keeps us coming back for more and more. For those who don't know, Soul Searcher is the moniker of Mark Pomeroy, the co-founder of Traxsource and the Sulfuric label group. His biggest hit, Can't Get Enough, climbed to number 9 on the UK charts back in '99. And it just got a fresh 25-year remix by Prunk. Feeling Love, originally released in the early 2000s, features the soulful vocals of Donna Allen and has been a big underground cut ever since. DJ Fudge, who's been part of the Sulfuric family since the late 90s, absolutely smashed it with this remix.
I'm feeling happy in a very special way. It's 'cause of you. It's like the memory of a warm and sunny day. I think of you. Have I finally seen the light of a man called Mr. Right? This is heaven. This is heaven. He is all essentially. He is everything to me. This is heaven. This is heaven. I feel alive.
Man, Fudge definitely put his vibe on this one. And you know, I had to catch up with him and ask him about this remix and his relationship with the Traxsource and Sulfuric fam. And here's what he had to say. Check it out.
Yes, indeed, brother. My relationship with Sulfuric and Traxsource goes back a long way. I met Brian Tappert in Miami during the Winter Music Conference in the early 2000s. I was already a fan of Sulfuric and his productions, and we clicked instantly. So follow this, in February 2006, I launched my label, Tejo Records, with the first release, Night Glows, featuring the B-side track Meshuga, which quickly became a club hit across soulful house and techno scenes. Sulfuric licensed the track in October with a remix by DJ Spen and Charisma, marking the start of a strong collaboration. In April 2023, Brian and I agreed to remix Soul Searcher, Feeling Love. I developed a rough idea with the piano riff, beat and vocals and sent it to Brian for feedback. Mark Pomeroy suggested adjusting the riff placement, which made the track more effective. I completed the production, adding vocals hook and layered synths, and when we released the remix, it quickly hit #1 on Traxsource. Thank you, bro, for this, and I wish an happy 20th anniversary to Traxsource, a key platform for our industry.
Massive love to Fudge. Fudge, man, appreciate you so much, man. And thanks for the super hot remix. This is Soul Searcher, Feeling Love, the DJ Fudge mix on Sulfuric Deep, right here on Traxsource Live. Yeah. Yes, Traxsource fam, we did it. This brings us all the way up to 2024, and this track is so good. This is Michael Gray's gospel-infused Fly Away, featuring Kimberly Brown and the Soultra gospel singers on Soultra Records. This jam is currently sitting at #2 on the best of Traxsource so far in 2024, and it's not a shocker, not at all. That's because Michael Gray's a true UK house and disco legend. He's been delivering hits for decades. You might know him as one half of Full Intention or for his timeless banger, The Weekend. With countless #1s on Traxsource over the years, Fly Away is a reminder of why Michael is a force in house music.
Until the day is night and night becomes a day. Until the trees and seas just stop and fly away. Until the day that 8 times 8 is full. Until the day that is the day that I come full. Until the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky. Until the ocean covers every mountain high. Until the dawn can fly in Paris live at sea. Until we dream about that life becomes a dream. Until the day is night and night becomes a day. Until
had the opportunity to ask Michael Gray how he manages to top the Traxsource charts time and time again. And here's what Michael had to say about it.
I think for me, Traxsource has been such a good platform for me to release vocal house records and remixes. I find that someone who buys from Traxsource like their dance music to be a bit more intelligent and a bit more thought gone into it. It's not always easy these days releasing a brand new song that no one's ever heard of before, but the crew at Traxsource and everybody who buys from there always gives me the love. Thank you, Traxsource, for having such a positive impact on my career, and many, many congratulations on your 20th anniversary. Well deserved.
Michael, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you. And there it is. It's a wrap. Thank you guys so much. My name is Mr. V from Soul Channel Music. I was your special guest host for part 1 and part 2. But all things must come to an end. I want to thank you all for tuning into this journey through 20 iconic tracks from 20 years on Traxsource. What an evolution of sound, man. We dug into the rich histories and we've uncovered a lot of things behind some of these great tracks. And I want to send a massive thank you to all the labels, all the artists, all the DJs, all the people behind the scenes who do what they do to keep the music flowing. And thank you for trusting us with your precious music and allowing us to do our thing over here at Traxsource. You know, without the music, we have nothing. And your trust means everything to us. Last but not least, we have to thank the fans, the listeners, the buyers, the ones who keep things alive day in and day out. You know, you come to our gigs, you buy our music and support us in so many different ways. Thank you so much. We see you and we appreciate you. Don't forget to check out Traxsource.com for the full Traxsource Rewind, the best of 20-year bundles, and pick your favorites. You get to pick them. There's over 3,000 top sellers from 20 years. My name is Mr. V, at DJ MRV on the socials. And until next time, I'll catch y'all. And on behalf of Traxsource, we love and appreciate you. We are the true home for real house music. Peace.
You're listening to Traxsource Live, the voice of the underground.